Now, across Texas, the issue is.
I'm Stephen Dial in Dallas.
I'm Rudy Koski in Austin.
And I'm Greg Grugan in Houston, and this is Texas, the issue is.
San Antonio State Senator Roland Gutierrez jumped in the U.S. Senate race, pitting him against Dallas Congressman Colin Allred in the Democratic primary. I talked to Gutierrez about his message for Texans.
What made you say you need to jump in and run to challenge, hopefully, Ted Cruz?
After a lot of reflection on what's going on in our state, I mean, we're just broken. We're broken as a state, we're broken as a nation, and we're broken because of people like Ted Cruz that don't really want to solve the problems that are facing us every day. They would rather, pick on people on the margins, talk about immigration as the seminal problem of what's facing in America.
How do you separate yourself? Well, first you have to win a primary. You're challenging Dallas Congressman Colin Allred. What separates you from him or whoever jumps into this race?
Well, Stephen, I've worked all my life in my public life, my private life. I've employed people. I have a proven track record for the last 20 years in public office of getting big things done. Making sure, for instance, we passed the National Center for Warrior Resiliency, which treats veterans with opioid addiction. We were able to pass, with some Republican opposition, the Farmer Suicide Prevention Act, which Sid Miller said saved 60 lives last year.
So how do you make it known that Uvalde or gun reform is not the only thing that you'll be fighting for Texans for in Congress?
The governor's office failed them. The attorney general's office failed them. They didn't have communications. Law enforcement failed. There was no ambulatory services to speak of. Government is broken. And when you start peeling away at what's going on, there's a bargain that happens when you and I go pay our taxes. We pay our taxes to be able to get the goods and services of government, make sure that we have working law enforcement, working streets and sidewalks and bridges and so on, healthcare systems that work, grids that work, electrical grids. There's been way too much failure in Texas, and that failure is at the hands of the Republicans like Ted Cruz that have refused to acknowledge it or to do anything to fix it. All Texans, Democrats and Republicans, we deserve more.
Do you think the Biden administration has done enough on the border?
I think that people need to also not buy into the rhetoric. The fact is we deport thousands of people every day. They come, they try to check themselves in, or they cross the border illegally and they get deported. Many that same day. I think that we have a long road to go on that, but we need to be truthful with people. We have a broken immigration system. We have many jobs in hospitality and restaurants that need that foreign labor force. Some construction companies, certainly our ranchers and our farmers, want to be able to fix the H-2A visa program. We have to be very truthful about it, but most importantly, we have to be truthful with Americans to say that that immigrant that's crossing that river today isn't responsible for your poor healthcare decisions or your poor education outcomes or your poor infrastructure outcomes that we have. The people that are responsible in Texas are the ones that have been in charge for the last 30 years, and that's the Republican Party.
Do you think President Biden can hurt Democrats in Texas when it comes to Democrats trying to do something they haven't done in decades, winning a statewide race?
Well, listen, first and foremost, I'm running against Ted Cruz and I'm running my own race against him. But listen, I think that the president has been steadfast. I mean, he has dealt with an economy that he adopted from this last guy. And he's stabilized those things. He's got us back on track and in the right direction. And good things don't happen overnight. They take time.
Rudy Koski, how would you sum up that interview?
Stephen, my word for that is identity.
All right. Greg Grugan, what about you?
Stephen, I'm going to go with sincere.
I'm happy you guys followed the rules with one word.